With the president coming to tout the need to replace the Brent Spence Bridge, we're taking a closer look tonight at whether the president's remarks accurately portray problems the project faces. Is the Brent Spence issue really just a funding problem? Ben has the reality check.
President Obama says Congress needs to pass his jobs plan and pass it now. The first reason, he wants to put more money into jobs for firefighters, police, and teachers. But the second thing the president wants is a national infrastructure bank. Thursday, President Obama will use the Brent Spence Bridge as his backdrop to push for Congress to put money into that national infrastructure bank. That money, the president says, would go to building 35,000 schools, repairing roads, airports, highways, and bridges.
Building a world-class transportation system is part of what made us an economic superpower. And now we're going to sit back and watch China build newer airports and faster railroads at a time when millions of unemployed construction workers could build them right here in America?
That is true. The president is correct when he says there are plenty of men and women ready to get to work. Among the projects the president is highlighting, the Brent Spence Bridge. So what will it take to replace that nearly 50-year-old bridge, which is clearly in need of replacement? Well, for starters, about $2.4 billion. Typically, these projects require 80% from the feds and another 20% from state and local governments. That means the feds could kick in, say, $1.9 billion for the project, but that would still require $500 million for the Brent Spence from state and local governments. So far, only about $90 million has been allocated. So even with the federal help, the funds are still way off. Even so, President Obama insists these are the kinds of infrastructure programs needed.
There are private construction companies all across America just waiting to get to work. There's a bridge that needs repair between Ohio and Kentucky that's on one of the busiest trucking routes in North America.
But the inference there is not entirely true. Listening to the president, it sounds as if the funding were just there, construction workers could start on the Brent Spence right away. But they couldn't. Even if 100% of the funding was in place, meaning the feds picked up the tab for the whole thing, the Brent Spence project is still at minimum 4 years away from breaking ground. That's because federal environmental studies are still not complete. So here's what you need to know. Saying everybody is ready to work is one thing. Saying the projects are ready for workers, well, that's another. Remember when the president referred to the last stimulus projects and he said they weren't as shovel-ready as he had hoped? Well, this may be another example of the same problem. A bridge that needs replacement but has more than just a funding problem. Let's hope that the infrastructure bank draws interest. And that is Reality Check.
If you'd like to make your voice heard on this story, you can comment on Ben's Facebook page. Light away. Just search Ben Swan, WXIX.